and boys and girls, mothers, uh, you know, shopkeepers, doctors, engineers, soldiers, to fight this menace. And finally, we were able to beat them hands down. But in the process, we lost $150 billion as our economic loss. During these floods in 22, $30 billion. And yet, we are asked to borrow money, to pay borrowed money and loans. Is this the way? This vicious circle of debt trap, I call it death trap, will not help at all the developing societies. So we have to strike a fair deal. Thank you very much.
President Arevalo of Guatemala, in your national cooperation program, one of the things that you're trying to do is to eradicate hunger, poverty. You have a focus on leaving no one behind. How do you create that inclusivity, which is at the heart of the SDGs that you're doing in Guatemala today?
Bueno, en primer lugar, muy buenas tardes y un saludo a todos y a todas. La pregunta de la inclusión es una pregunta sobre participación. No se trata únicamente de lograr que el desarrollo
making sure that development benefits all the population of the actors, but that it allows for different sectors of the population to participate in defining how these goals should be achieved. We are clearly determined to use dialogue and mechanisms of dialogue and participation to incorporate the visions of various actors in planning for development. And we're doing it in different ways. We have, on the one hand, launched a process of dialogue with the original peoples, the indigenous peoples. For the first time in our history, the President of the Republic has met with leadership of the original peoples once a month to review an agenda of work for development. These meetings are policy focused that then break up into working groups, and these meetings make it possible to sign and put together development agendas with different communities, ethnic communities, and we have managed to implement some of these agendas with the goal of the government taking these agendas and then incorporating them into national development plans. We're doing that, and at the same time, we're also implementing a process of decentralization of planning and implementation of public policy, which will enter into force in January of next year. Guatemala is a small country but highly centralized, which means that decisions are fundamentally adopted in the capital, and that any person who wants to negotiate any aspect of a project or a decision has to come to the capital to do that. So we've decided to kind of to create a dynamic of development, decentralized development. For each one of our provinces or departments, we're going to have a development plan for the term of our government, where the representatives of various state institutions in these provinces will function as a kind of local cabinet, and the governors will be in charge of ensuring follow-up to the implementation of these development plans. This will give opportunity to policies at the territorial level, and various social sectors, indigenous communities, the private sector will be able to participate much more directly in discussing their priorities for development at the local level, and also in participate in supervising the process of implementation. And that way we are involving the various sectors in an active way, not only for them to be beneficiaries of development, but for them to be also initiators and managers of development. Thank you.
Mr. President. Distinguished panelists, the most important panel I've had all day. I appreciate you so much. We have so much more to talk about, but I know you have places to go and people to see, but I will ask you to stay with us in this room for another 5 minutes only so that you can hear the next speaker respond to your excellent insights. But for now, I will ask the ECOSOC chamber and also the people on UN Web TV to thank our distinguished panel. Thank you.